Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. You find me here on Italian Rice 22. This is a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 by TDA Team, 591.83 megabytes download. Now the previous version of this, if we look on our screen, I'm pretty sure the previous version of this was this top section down to here, I think, if I recall correctly. But we've got all of this. This is what the map looks like. On New Farmer, we do start with the main farm area here, which is 85,848, and all of these fields. Now this map, we've got clumps of fields, blocks of fields. That's 793 grand on New Farmer you start with, which on Farm Management Start from Scratch you won't. And as we go around, you can see they come in sort of blocks. Now there are some other plots which will need to be purchased as we go around. There are some extra farm plots with silos. Now there's not a sleep trigger on the map. Some people like that, some people don't. There are plenty in the mod hub, so you can place a sleep trigger wherever you want. So it's been left like that so you can then decide where you want your sleep trigger to be, especially if you're playing multiplayer, that kind of thing. We've got a plot out here which will need to be purchased too. So prices are, you know, they're up there. Not too horrendous. We have got some forestry plots around the map as well if you want to do a little bit of forestry. And I've just realised, actually, going around the map, there's not a sawmill. So whilst there is some forestry, you might need to place a sawmill somewhere. We can't buy the edges, the verges, the periphery, whatever it is, however you want to refer to them around the edge of the map. And there are some bits like the town in the middle we can't purchase. And this bit here, we can purchase the fields around it, but there's a little sort of, I suppose, a little village just out there as well. The map looks great. Now, I'm going to tell you this right from the outset. I've had an absolute game on this, an absolute... Setting this up, I thought I was going out of my mind. After my mod review yesterday, where I had nothing but problems and nothing would work, I thought this was the same. And honestly, when we get to the bit when I explain, I'm laughing now. I don't know why. There are 5 required mods. They are written in the description. There's not links because obviously I'm on console, but they do download automatically, so you won't have to worry about that. The only other thing added in by the map maker, if we go into build mode and we go to silos, we have got out on the end there 2 Italian rice silos. So anything else that's in here is the required mods. There's nothing else added in by the map maker, so that's fairly straightforward. So we start out of this main farm area. One thing I will say, the shadows are quite dark. I mean, it's not horrendous. I've been on worse, I think. We start with an absolute ton of equipment. Let's open the gates there. There are gates all the way around here. We do have most of the sheds. We can turn the lights on. I love the fact you've got these rice wheels up against the wall there. Telehandler just there. We've got various bits of equipment, cultivators, planters, with front boxes, front tanks as well. Seeder. We've got power harrows. We've got the... This is the new Holland. It does say T6 Tier 4B. That's a modded one that has the rice wheels on it, which is very cool. Because we've got additional crops on this map. It is Italian rice. We've got 4 different rice varieties. We have also got on here a second corn or maize. So we've got a regular corn crop, maize crop, however you refer to it. Then we've got forage maize, and they are different. Because if you put in the regular corn one, regular corn header, off you go, and you can harvest it and you get your corn. You can also use a forage harvester on that crop, and you can silage harvest it if you want to. The other one, the forage maize that you can plant, that one you can only use a forage harvester to harvest. You can't use a regular corn header. So that one is a sort of, not lower grade, but it's a different one, and I think you can harvest it when it's greener. Anyway, so yeah, so we've got those as extra crop types. If we go into this one here and I go back across, so if you look to the right crop types and we go across one, on that list there you've got forage maize, lunar rice, selenia rice, brown rice, and CL28 rice. Now those rices can all be sold separately. If you want to sell them separately, they can also be turned into flour, so you can do rice flour. Although it doesn't give you a separate rice flour, it adds into, at the grain mill, a standard flour. That's something to point out as well. The grain mill is right here on the edge of this plot. So on New Farmer, you start with the grain mill production already. If I scroll down to here, you'll see we've already got it. Wheat flour, barley, oat, sorghum, corn flour, then we've got the lunar rice, selenium, barone and CL28. But it all comes out the other end as just flour. So there's not a flour and a rice flour, which I thought might have been a nice touch, but it's not. That's the way it is. So on farm management, start from scratch, because you don't own that land, you won't have the grain mill at the start, and it's quite an expensive plot, as I've already shown. Let's go back to there. 793,000 to buy all those fields and get the grain mill. So you can't really buy the grain mill separately. Anyway, let's crack on around the yard. Turn the shed lights on. A selection of tractors across here. Been getting this strange pixeling, pixelation. You see that as we go in where the shadows are? You probably picked up on it. Yeah, you can see that. So we've got a few tractors there. We've got a workshop trigger in here, which is just there. If we come out around here, we got the, like I say, there's no sleep trigger, but we've got the main farmhouse. We've got a nice garden. These doors, I love the way these doors open. That's seriously cool. We've got a silo here. I have done some testing. This is not a multi-fruit silo. It's what I call standard plus. So do your standard crop types plus the crop types on this map. So the extra rice crops and the forage. Actually, no, I don't think it does it? It will just be the extra rice crops. 3 million litre capacity. I tested it because it's not in the build mode. If we go to build mode and we go to our silos, it's only got those two. So there are loads of these built into the farms around the map, and I wasn't sure what the capacities were. So I spent a bit of time filling them up, hit 3 million litres, and it was full. So that's what you're going to be getting, 3 million litres. There are water points at various points around the map. We've got a jet wash around the side here. Again, at some of the other farms, we've got jet washes too. I'm going to have to put some money in. We open this barn door up, we open that gate up. There are a couple of little bits here and there. I have a couple of gates that wouldn't open even when I owned the land. Here and there. It may require an update, I don't know. A couple of large-ish trailers. Cultivator, another tractor. Low loader. Like I said, you do start with a fair bit. Roller, a couple of ploughs. Have I lost? Oh no, I just showed you, didn't I? So have I lost the harvester? No, it was right there, and the pickup had just been passed. That was where the harvester was, in there. With a corn header as well. So, that's the main farm area. Now, because this will do rice crops, how do I get my rice in the ground and all those good things? If we go down to here, seeders will do the extra rice crops. So you can see all 4 rices just there. So for planting or putting into the ground for rice, it's the seeders. And then for the planters, you can see at the bottom we've got the regular corn on the far left. Then just before sorghum on the other end, you've got the forage maize one. So for putting that in the ground, you need a planter. So seeders and planters. And as I've said already, for taking the I didn't say that. Taking the rice out of the ground, it's a regular header. And then for doing the forage maize, you're going to need a forage harvester header for doing that. So let's pop out this way. Like I said, I'm going to have to put some money in. We're going to go out this way first, and then it's going to be an interesting route around the map. But we have got a lot of drainage ditches. We have got a lot of lowered fields because they are rice fields. You can grow any crops you want in them. But if you notice, as we're going around, there are discs, there are blue discs, which we'll get to later on. And you'll also see as we go around, there are drainage ditches. Now, all of the drainage ditches in the rivers are dry. And I came on here, and this is what I'm talking about. I was going out of my mind. I went to all the blue discs. I was buying land up, left, right and centre. See to our right, the ditch is, it's bone dry. I couldn't get any of the fields to flood. None of them. Don't comment yet. I did. I worked it out, and you'll see when we get through later on. There's people that are going to leap on me and start telling me, I worked it out. Now, as you can see, we can't get in here because we need to own this property. So we come from the main farm here out to this bit here, which has got a cow pasture on it, but that's plot 3 and needs to be purchased. I don't think. Oh, I've got enough to get it. Let's get that and do that. Now we can open the gate and we can go in. So this is a nice big open plot of land. You can put a load of stuff on it if you want to. We have got the big cow barn in here. We have got a water point. The cow barn will take 200 cows. We've got 2 large silage clamps as part of our start equipment, which is interesting because it's our start equipment. We can't actually get in through the gates to get in here until we own the land. Bit of a dodgy one, isn't it? We've got this. This is part of the required mods. This is the trailed loader by RL Modding. So this is here for moving bales and bits around, if you wish. So quite a large cow area. What I'm going to do is head out the other side of the farm. So yeah, don't worry about the ditches and stuff. We'll get to later on, and I'll explain, because we will come back around. Because the thing about it is, when I do my map tours, when I'm doing my prep, I will do this initially. I will look at the map. I'll look at where we start. I'll look at sell points and things around it, and I'll work out a route round. Then what I'll also do, I'll look for plots of land that may need to be purchased, that might have farms on, and think, okay, well, if I was going to do a route this way, if I need to take in that, and you know, so I'll work out a route around the map. So I worked out my route around the map. And the ironic thing is, the thing that I needed to know was the very last thing I went to. The very last thing I went to. Which is just typical. Anyway, like I said, you'll see in a bit. So, out on the edge of that plot of land that I was saying about, that's got the grain mill. We are coming up on the grain mill now, because this was the other thing. I've got to say, I thought, I'm sure on the previous version of this, where the grain mill is, there's a water wheel, and there was water in the river, and you know, I thought it just doesn't. Something's wrong, you know. Something's wrong. So there's no water. Anyway, so production plant. That's where it is. Like I say, you will need to purchase the land to get that on Farm Manager, or start from scratch. Bear with me a moment while I just put some money in, because we are going to need that. There we go, that'll do. So, from the grain mill, as you can see, right, so in these clumps of fields, depending on which ones you purchase, you'll get these discs. Those will become relevant later on. Don't worry. Nothing's happening when I come to them now, but it will make sense later on. It's one of those things. I just wish it had been the first thing I found, but it doesn't matter. So, as we said, the other thing I was going to mention was, at the main farm and the other farms that we find, you can't remove the buildings. So even if you own the land, I couldn't remove any of the buildings. So they're kind of set in place, as are the silos. So, animal dealer, purchase point for your livestock is just there. Actually, can I buy this bit of land? Yeah, it is part of all this plot here. So again, if you wanted to put placeables within that, other sell points and stuff, you can. It can be purchased. So we're heading out to the northeast. So this gate did open. Like I say, there is one later on I couldn't... Yeah. The forested areas, as you can see, are more like plantations. They're nicely laid out in rows, although those are poplar lime. I don't think you can cut those ones down, actually. So you can't actually flood your field. You'd only want to flood the fields if you're doing rice in them, if you're doing regular crops in them, and if you don't intend doing that, you don't have to. And also, if you do rice crops, you don't have to flood them. They will still grow even if they're not flooded. It just adds to that kind of realism of, and you get to use the rice wheels and all that cool stuff if you want to. So northeast, we come to this large farm just up here. So we are now from here up there out to here. We are this one here, plot 34. 100,272. Buy that, do that and that, and we get a workshop trigger, and we get another silo. The panacea, I think, isn't it? I'm not going to try and say the Italian names. I do apologise. I'm not Italian, as you can probably tell. Lots of barn and building space. Some of the doors and stuff do open. I couldn't find a workshop. Oh, did I find a workshop trigger? This one. I'm trying to think. The silo is in this building here. No, it's not. Was this the workshop? Oh my, yeah, workshop. There we go. So workshop trigger is just here. Silo is up at the back here. There is a water point just there. Now I see no reason to think that the rest of the silos around the map aren't 3. I didn't test all of them. I didn't try and fill all of them, but I assume that if the first one is 3 million litres, I don't see any reason why the rest of them won't be 3 million litres each. It says farm dryer. It is a storage silo. Now, again, no sleep trigger. There's none at any of them. The only animal point is where those cows were. So all of these farm areas are like this. Large, big brick buildings, red tile roofs. Some of them have got some really nice gardens, swimming pools. You know, I hazard to guess the sort of people that might have owned them. Anyway, which is kind of when we get to the last point on the map as well, made me think. That's what it made me think of. Yeah, I was thinking Cosa Nostra. I thought, you know, controlling the flow of things. I know I'm being cryptic, but it all makes sense. Anyway, heading south, we come to this farm estate. Now, this one can be purchased, although there's no silos, no triggers. It's a really, really lovely area. However, as you will see, if I throw the drone up, look at it. Is that not just gorgeous? I mean, absolutely lovely. But if I go to here, we've come down from there. We are now here. Plot 11, 264,504. If we purchase that, do that and that. There's no triggers. You watch it work now. But when we get to here, open gate. You get the lovely squeak sound of the gate opening. It now says close gate, which implies the gate is open. But it's not. The gate won't open. And it doesn't the other side either. So you can buy it, but you can't get in there. I think you're supposed to be able to, because like I say, it's making the sound, and it's saying close gate. So it's intimating that the gate is open. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not. So again, possibly an update will be required. It's a couple of little bits here and there. They've got their own church on there as well, which is amazing. Another flooding point just there. I think I might have missed my turning. Have I? No. Nope, we're alright. The route round this, because of the way the fields are, it's finding where the trackways are. So this is where that little village is. We can go around the outskirts of this to get to where we're going next. It is really nicely laid out. Now, apart from the shadows being a little bit dark, I like the colour palette. It works really well. It's not overly colourful. It's not overly dulled down either. That's off the map there. I don't think we can... Let's just double check. We are there. Yeah, we can't purchase any of that. I thought I'd double check. I was pretty sure that was the case. We drive down through here. So you can drive in and around there. Unfortunately, you can't buy any of that land. We go all the way around the outside here. Whoa. Like I say, I could be wrong, because I know a lot of maps. When I did map tours before, and I do map tours, sometimes maps get an update. I don't always go back and revisit them. Some maps get extended and fields get added, and you kind of look on the description and say, oh, fields added, okay. But that can be massive. So potentially, if this got updated on FS19, that could have all been added on FS19. I'm not sure, because I'm sure I got to this road and that was it. Now, this is another plot of land. This is an interesting one. We can't get in there. There's no option to open the gates. So I'm curious if you get a contract for this, because this is actually the biogas plant. Plot 30, 173,544, which is pretty good, because you get the land and you get the biogas plants. We purchase that, do that and that. All of those come up, because one of the required mods is the Modular BGA. So all of that is the modules, and now I can open the gate. So yeah, if you get a contract that says you've got to sell the BGA, you can't actually get in there unless you own the land. Yeah, anyway, large silage clamps to the side. I'm not going to run through all of the Modular BGA is a mod in its own right. I did the mod review on that when it first came out. That's had a couple of updates as well. For all intents and purposes, the main fermenter, the main bit of kit, does do your regular crop types in with digestate out. Then we have got raw methane and all sorts of byproducts and things on this. But like I say, that is a mod in its own right and a required mod to boot. So that's the biogas plant with a large plot of land on it. Open that gate. We will come along here and around the roundabout. Where are you going? It's a very nice looking motor. Very nice. We come to this facility. Open the gates on here. So we are at the Risicoltori rice processing plant. This is just a sell point. This is not a production chain. Better go around the right way, I don't want to get in trouble. Follow the route round. We've got the weigh scales just there. We come round the back, all the way around, and the sell point is just through there. And I'm pretty sure we can buy this land as well. Yeah, so you can purchase that land again if you want to add some extra sell points. There's so many available for various different things. So if you want to add more in, you absolutely can. We'll come back out from there and go this way. Now there is a railway that runs across the map, east-west. There's no, it's just a decorative when it goes across. It's not, oh, there we go. How about that for timing? Whoa, get in. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, it's just decorative. It's not for loading up. It's a passenger train. It just saunters across the map in true Italian style, nice and relaxed, having a cappuccino as it goes. Lovely. You also notice to the right here, the river, dry as a bone. Come on. Reminds me of a funny story. Going up to Fort William to climb Ben Nevis, and we stopped just past Gretna Green at a campsite. Went along this little road and we got to a crossing like this, and the barriers came down as we got there. We sat for about 45 minutes. Nothing happened, and we're thinking, this is weird, you know, surely there's a train coming. 45 minutes, then this train crawled past, off the other way, then it was about another 25 minutes, then the barriers opened. I don't ever sat at a crossing so long in my entire life. It was absolutely mad. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. More dry riverbeds, more water. Again, don't worry, don't comment yet. It's all good. So from here, we come round the roundabout. Train runs across there. We come round here, and we are now at plot 37. Plot 37 and plot 36 can be bought separately. If we buy 37, we don't get anything on it. But if we buy plot 36 and do that, we get 2 silos on there. So you've still got all the buildings. You can actually go between one and the other. But again, it gives you the option of putting your own silo in if you want to. There's plenty of barn and building space. You can put your own sleep triggers in if you want to. There's a bit of room around, but like I say, as I've purchased this land, you think, well, can I remove the buildings? But it doesn't give me any option for demolishing or removing any of them. So they are pretty much fixed in place. But there's some nice plots. They look fantastic. I like the fact they are all different as well. It's not just a one sort of made farm area that's just been plonked down in 4 different orientations, you know. Through we go into the next farm area. So we do have a water point around the side there. And then we have got in here one of the 2 silos. Again, I'm going to say 3 million litres. I can't see any reason why there wouldn't be. There we go. Silos all over the place. So double whammy on your silos there. Plenty of shed and storage space, as I already said. So there we go. Whoa. What's that farm? Including the main start farm, that's farm number 4. This is a nice one as well. You got shed space and stuff around there as well, because this garden here, look, garden with a pool and fancy, isn't it? Farming pays well, doesn't it? So we need to go. Which way was going to go? This way. We're heading out west. Now I'm trying to see, let's have a look. if this is regular corn, that's a regular corn one. I wanted to show you, hopefully before the end, if I remember, I'll show you one that's just got forage maize, it's referred to. I'm so pleased I managed to work out what I'd done wrong. That's the thing about it, because it was that thing of, oh no, you know, I started to really panic and think I can't do a map tour on a map and say, look, I can't work it out, it's not working. But this one here, couldn't get this gate to open. Unlike the other one up the top there, I didn't own the land up there, so what I did off camera, I bought the land. Still couldn't get that gate to open, so yeah. Maybe you're just not allowed to go that way. I will circumvent it for the moment. I'm sure no one will mind. And we come to this farm area just here. We swing in. Just there. So we come from there, across there, round here. We are at plot 35. Purchase that, do that and that. We've got another silo, slightly different design, but again, I see no reason why it wouldn't be. 3 million litres. Throw said dronage up. We've got a lovely little farmhouse here. Again, no sleep trigger. Nice big open space for placeables. Then this building over here, the doors do open. I don't think this one had a workshop. Oh, that's what I meant to say. I didn't do slot count, did I? I'll do it when I get back to the main farm, remember. When we get back to the main farm. Because I wanted to show you something. Actually, I'll say it now before I forget. So the slot count on New Farmer is 1,479, with all that start equipment as well, which is pretty impressive. On Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, it's 1,410, which is only a difference of 69 slots. The only thing I could find different was, up at the main start farm, on Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, there was no silo, and there was no workshop trigger. Now, here's the weird thing. Although it said there was no silo and there was no trigger, there was nothing for it, it also had it left with a hole in the ground. I will put a picture up now. So my advice would be, start on New Farmer. If you want to reduce your money, get rid of the equipment you can, lease and return. There's a few different mods out there, people have been asking me, that allow you to remove large chunks of money in different ways, deductions and things like that. There's a few different mods out there. But leasing and returning large value items is a good way to reduce your money if you want to. Then if you want to get down to a sort of a particular amount, you can then lease and return cheaper items until you get to what you want. But anyway, that being said, so yeah, that silo is not showing on Farm Management Start from Scratch, but there's a hole in the ground where it was, which is, yeah, again, potentially an update. So, interesting though, this gate did work, he says. Please work. There we go. So from here we're going to go down this ditch. Now again, there's no water. If there was water, do not drive too deeply through the water, or don't drive into the deep water. You know the thing that comes up. So we're going to cut across here. This is the Nibio cereals plant. This is a sell point. I have to say, I'm the megabyte download 591.83. It's up there. It's fairly high, you know, and it's not horrendous, but it's up there. But the fact that the slot count is 1,479, there's a lot of detail on here, a lot of added stuff. So there's your sell point, the Nibio cereals plant. Again, this plot I think can be purchased as well. Yeah. So if you want to put placeables, more sell points, things like that, you absolutely can. Come back around and out from here. So again, I will reiterate, this is the route I took round in preparation. Now this again, really nice touch. I like this with the graffiti on the walls as well. It's really, really well done. We come up the other side to the roundabout, or a roundabout, not the roundabout, like there's only one in the world ever. Gas station just over there, and then we come round here. Now this is a curious one. This is another one, again, we can't go into unless we buy the land. So we are here. Plot 32, this is a quarry. Now, I'm assuming it's been done for immersive let's play, you know, narrative. You can kind of decide what you want to do. There are plenty of mods where you can buy in bulk and that kind of thing. So if you wanted to, you could put piles and piles of stone, piles and piles of lime, whatever you want to do here, because there aren't piles of the stuff. It is just here as a quarry. I love the water in this side, and there's a bit the other side as well. So it gives you option. Oh, you can just buy it, and you can put a load of placeable. You can put a cement works. Like I said, there are tons of mods, so many different things. You can then say, well, actually, you know what? I'll put this here instead. I could put my rock crushing gear and things like that there if I wanted to. So, you know, that's your quarry. Be careful on the way out here. The lip here is a bit of a doozy. Ask me how I know. I bet you can imagine. Then we come to the vehicle store and workshop trigger, and there's also a wardrobe trigger here as well. Gates will need to be opened. Now this equipment here is showing as leased by you, and it is proper farm equipment, and on the map we've come from there around the roundabout, so we're here. It's not under your leased items, it's just has to be on there if they want to use sort of proper gear. You can't get in it or anything like that, but it is there. So wardrobe triggers at the front of the building just there, and then we come through here and open this gate. We've got the vehicle shop menu just there, icon, and we've got the workshop trigger just around the back there. That's interesting. Why is the workshop? That was shown before. That's where it is. That's curious. Where's the workshop icon gone? You don't have to buy this plot of land for that to come up. You can't buy this plot of land. How bizarre. When I did my test run around the map, that was there. Oh, ghostly. That's weird. Anyway, that's the vehicle shop. From here then, back out onto the main road. Now if you come straight up the road we were on a little while ago, you go over the overpass, but here we're going under the overpass. And then we come to this next sell point here. Again, look, ditches and stuff all empty. This is the straw bale sell point. Now this isn't just for straw bales, this is a bale sell point. So we can sell our bales here. And we'll double check this one. We are here. Can we purchase? Oh no, this is all part of the main town area. So I was saying it might be quite nice replaceables, but unfortunately that's just the sell point there for bale or related products. And then we come from here to the final point that I got to on my prep for my map tour. And if you looked on the map, which I should have done, it's not something I kind of have a quick scan across, but I don't click on every single icon, because when you've got maps that have got tons of them, I'd rather just do a route round and find them as I go. We've got this here. This is the Irrigation Consortium. Can you guess what that is? So if you don't want to irrigate your fields, if you don't want water in your fields at all, you don't have to do this. If you do, or if you just want water in all the in the rivers and the ditches and stuff, you probably want to activate this. So you come to this point here where it says water canal level up to allow rice field irrigation. Press circle. Water level raised. So press it again, it will take it away again. So if I jump in the drone now and we whiz out here, look, we've got water in the drainage ditches. Where this river was, where was that nice big river? I drove past and thought, that's weird. Here, look. It's like, why is that all dry? When we went through that little ford just here, look, everything's got water again. Brilliant. If only I'd found that first. That would have been handy, wouldn't it? So, where all these bits are, there's all these little brick sections and you've got the little markers. Once you've activated that, these markers then become active. Honestly, I reached a point. I started prepping like late last night, and probably because I was a bit tired as well, and it was getting late. And I thought, okay, I'll finish off the prep in the morning. There were some other things I wanted to check, and I was getting nowhere. And I thought, you know what? I'm not putting up a map tour of a map to tell people it's not working. I can't work it out. I can't get it to work. And then this morning, because I come down, get to there and think, you muppet. Anyway, if we head out here, where's our trigger? Out along the edge of here. So you can see, look, all our ditches, all very nice indeed. And we have a trigger. Actually, is that for our fields? I think it might be. We whiz out along here, and we come to the trigger. You'll see all the little brick stuff around it. So wherever these little discs are, oh, that hasn't got one, as he says that. Oh, there you go. Look. So the water comes up to there, and it stops. And then between the fields, you've got culverts and various different things. So if we go to this now, it says fill rice fields with water. Press circle. Boom. Rice fields are filled with water. Now obviously if you've got rice growing in them, the rice is growing up through the water. You can use your rice wheels and you can drive through and you can do all the stuff you need to do. All very happy. If you don't want to do that, you can drain the water away and away it goes. So you've got the option to have all your ditches completely dry. You can turn it on from the irrigation consortium, so all of your ditches and rivers and waterways are full. But if you don't want to put water in any of these, you don't have to. Now unfortunately you can't do individual fields when you buy them and get them in blocks. So we're back up the farm here. So as you can see, they're all in blocks. We've got a couple of different triggers. It will do a lot of them. So I'll do that again. Right, and we'll do the drain up again. So all of our fields, as you can see, that we own in this one big group are all flooded. So you can't do those independently. That's the only downside. I guess it's a downside if you think like that. That's, you know. But again, so it gives you option. You've got a few different choices there of how you want to go about it if you want to. So that's what I was saying about, you know, who owns the consortium? Who owns the power, has the power to let you have water or not? The entire map can have water, or not. Anyway, I will whiz back round here to show you what I was talking about. I thought we'd end up back here anyway, but yeah. So, farm management, start from scratch. No workshop trigger in there. And then this silo is not showing as a silo, and that's not there. There's just that hole, as I showed you. There's a hole in the ground. Whereas the other farms, when I clicked on those and I bought a couple just to test it, their silos were still showing as silos on the map. So it just seems to be here at the main farm. But anyway, that's Italian Rice 22 by TDA Team. I hope you stuck with me to the end bit. If you'd already commented before then, great. I did find it in the end. Anyway, I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.